the Yankees are up 4-0, and you kind of feel like, okay, they're going to cruise to a victory here. Warren's pitched well of late. They'll be fine. And then it's 4-4, and you're like, this pesky White Sox team, you know something bad's going to happen.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. I've been hosting this show since 2018, which is basically all of Aaron Boone's tenure. So it's been a fun time for me. He is Brian McKeon. He's been hosting with me since April 2024. And you know, in the short time that we've been hosting together, we've seen a lot of weird Yankee stuff, haven't we, Brian?
Oh, yeah. A lot of big, we've seen a pennant. We've seen the worst stretches in franchise history. It's been fun. We've seen the worst stretch by Yankee players since 1900, by the way.
Yeah.
This season.
Yeah, we've seen a lot. By the way, this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. You can take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to our podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. We also have a TikTok account, so follow us over there at LockedOn_Yankees. On today's show, we preview the rest of the pitching matchups because it's a 4-game series with the White Sox. And it's Fan Mail Friday, but first, the Yankees did what they were supposed to do. Again, they're continuing to win games against bad teams. Did you realize that this is 5 wins in a row? Because I didn't for some reason.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like it, I guess, maybe because of the quality of opponent they're going towards. But nonetheless, it is 5 wins in a row. It does keep them still in contention, so we'll take that. Do you go with the positive or the negative on Volpe first? A glass half full or empty kind of girl?
Well, I think it's interesting because I think we should start with the negative because it was almost like a switch was flipped after the bad thing happened and then everything seemed okay. You know, it was very strange. It was a tale of 2 games for him, really, in the same game.
I don't think he's one of those players that has that flip the switch ability to just change his game at a moment's notice, but it is a good point by you. After that error, Will Warren, the error that would have ended the inning, by the way, Will Warren gives up a grand slam, ties the game, and you kind of had that feeling where the Yankees are up 4-0, and you kind of feel like, okay, they're going to cruise to a victory here. Warren's pitched well of late. They'll be fine. And then it's 4-4, and you're like, this pesky White Sox team, you know something bad's going to happen. They wound up taking care of business and finishing the game off and really looking like the better team following that. But there's a real case to be made. They could have fallen apart at that point. And that's where those errors are huge. This one could have came back to really bite them in the butt. And you're right. As soon as that happens, he turns it around, has a double later on, goes 2 for 3 the rest of the game. Really is kind of weird how he just turns his game around.
He even made a couple of good plays too after that. So it was very odd. It really was like a switch flipping. Just all of a sudden, he went from looking absolutely terrible. I mean, he fell over on that play. That was, you know what that reminded me of? I don't know if you remember because you're young, but they used to show this highlight of Luis Soho tripping over his own feet and it elicited laughs throughout the whole stadium. And that's almost what it reminded me of. But at this point, that wouldn't do that because
I did feel a little bit bad for him because he made the last play in the game, which was actually a nice play, the line drive. And he high-fived Jazz as the game ended, as they went to go meet each other in the middle. And he looked kind of defeated on his face, Volpe, where like almost made good plays, hit pretty well in this game, but that error just went right back into his head. Like he could only think of the negative. I do feel like this year might have possibly done that to him.
Yeah.
Where he just can't do anything but obsess over the negative, but can't really fault that for anyone but himself, to be honest.
Right. Positive things about the rest of the game. Home runs, Bellinger, Chisholm, Grisham. Grisham's home run, his 27th, which is just every time he hits a home run, I'm like, he has that many? Every time when he hits his 25th.
Allow me to remind you, please.
Yeah.
He's an elite level fielder, and let's not act like the power wasn't there last year because he had a lot of big home runs last year for Grisham. Stacey, Alex Verdugo started all 5 games in the World Series last year for the Yankees. Let me just throw that out there, please.
Thank you for that. So with Grisham's home run, this is a fun stat that Brian Hoke put up somewhere. The Yankees have matched the Major League Baseball record for team home runs in a 10-game span, which is 33. The 77 Red Sox, the 06 Braves, and the 2019 Dodgers all did that as well.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it was a good game, 10-4. I could make a joke about, truckers and...
Got to keep winning these games.
Yeah.
Got to keep winning these games against bad teams.
Yes, this is exactly what they need to do. So keep on
No
trucking. No pun intended. No, the pun is intended. Keep trucking. Okay, so if you're new to the show, it's Fan Mail Friday. We do this every Friday. We ask you guys for questions. We answer them to the best of our ability. We start off every Friday with our insiders. We will tell you how to join the Insiders Club a little later in the show. And we always start the Insiders segment with Betty. And this is what Betty has to say on Friday, August 29th. Since the All-Star break, name 2 players you feel are indispensable in each of the following: outfield, infield, pitching. My choices are Stanton and Bellinger, Rice and Caballero, Fried and Schlittler.
Let's see. Well, I mean, you can't really go wrong with the outfield options. Honestly, I think all 4 are indispensable. Their 4 outfielders have been their best players.
Yeah.
Honestly. So, I mean, yeah, it's Bellinger, Grisham, Stanton, and Judge. They've all been that good. Mm-hmm. Honestly, interesting, by the way, to add into this point, Betty, Judge still not playing the outfield in this series. Right. So it is taking, that storyline is still going on. Infield, I'd say McMahon and Rice.
Yeah.
McMahon's been really good for them, really solid at third base. We haven't said a single thing about a bad fielded play at third base in a month now, a month and a half, which is uncommon for this. This is the longest I think Locked On Yankees has gone since I've been on that we haven't made a third base error complete. So that's a good thing. Pitching, I would absolutely go Schlittler, and I'm going to go David Bednar. He's been elite bulldog mentality kind of thing. And Schlittler to me is obvious. He's been outstanding since they've called him up.
Yep.
So that's where I'd go. David F says, how do you evaluate the impact of Paul Goldschmidt on this team's dynamics this year?
Well, all about the veterans' presence, as people say. He's really great at, I never realized how great he was at scooping the ball because, he has to scoop the ball with some of the throws that he gets from certain players. And I think that having someone who is former MVP and who's been around a while and just having that older player presence is always good for the team.
Here's my question to you, though. Is that helping? I mean, they've gone through some awful losing streaks in this year and played some historically bad baseball, including players who have had historically bad stretches.
Yeah.
So is that veteran leadership really sinking in?
That's a good
Doesn't
question.
feel like it. At least in my opinion.
Well, it doesn't feel like anything's sinking in with these guys.
Yeah.
Because the manager's not doing anything. The coaches aren't doing anything. Ownership's not doing anything. The GM's not doing anything. They're just like, oh, yeah, we could turn this around. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I would say, though, he has saved. Volpe would have like 25 errors at this point if it weren't for Goldschmidt.
I mean, there are multiple times a game where Goldschmidt saves his rear end.
Yeah.
And we're not even exaggerating. Like, if you really keep an eye on some of those throws that Volpe makes that he has to dig out of the dirt because Volpe can't make a full throw across the field for some reason. Yeah.
Happened a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our next question from Malachi. What do you think will happen to Volpe in the offseason? What do you think the Yankees should do with him? I think they should get rid of him. They have a better shortstop in Caballero that they could re-sign or get someone better.
Malachi, I do love this question. It's a tough question because it's not as easy as just getting rid of someone.
Right.
He is a young player who was at once a top prospect in baseball. I think you go into next year with an actual open competition at shortstop. At spring training. Don't define a shortstop. Don't say Anthony Volpe's our shortstop. Let him earn the job back again. And I'll tell you this, when he had the chance to earn the job 3 years ago in spring training, he played his butt off in spring training and earned himself a roster spot when no one expected him to earn that roster spot. Let him do it again. And if he can't, but he has a nice spring training, and if you don't believe in him and he has a nice spring training, you can trade a once former all-star caliber player, a once former top-tier prospect in baseball who has top-tier trade value because he has at that point, he'll have 4 years of arbitration remaining left. So I think there will be value left with him. You're not going to cut him. That's what I think you do. If you don't believe in Volpe, let him go into spring training, let him show some signs of positivity, and then move a guy with 4 years of arbitration left who's shown all-star caliber type play. Let him find himself somewhere else. But for right now, I do think there's value there. Would you disagree, Stacey?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they're gonna, fall apart in disbelief with him anyway. I don't think you can afford that either. I mean, this is a guy who, again, they didn't sign Corey Seager because of Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
So you kind of, the Yankees, if Cashman's still the GM, they're tied to forcing it out, if making Volpe work out. They refuse to go after so many top tier players, Trey Turner, Corey Seager, because Anthony Volpe was available, was theirs. So they kind of, this is the problem you get into when you hold on to prospects, is you're kind of you're pigeonholing yourself into that guy working out. You really are.
Yeah. You mentioned the shortstop competition a few years back. Oswald Peraza gave up 8 runs in 1/3 of an inning for the Angels on Wednesday, and I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. And Corey Seager, I think, is he getting his appendix out? What happened with Corey Seager? Something happened with him.
Yeah, he's hurt again. Which, I mean, it has been the tale of this season for him. He's had an awful year with injuries.
Yeah.
Still, the year after the Rangers signed Corey Seager, he carried them to the World Series and they won their first World Series championship in franchise history. I think any Rangers fan will tell you that contract is a success because they won a World Series with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, honestly, if the Yankees would have gave him that deal and won the 2018 World Series, I would have also told 2021, whatever year it was, I would sit here and tell you that it was also a success to sign Corey Seager at that time. So, not regretting that one.
Yeah.
I will also not let go of that one. Or Harper or Machado.
Right. Yeah.
That'll be.
Yeah. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, and hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. And if you would like to be part of next week's Fan Mail Friday, you can go to our YouTube channel's page, click on the post tab, leave your questions under our Fan Mail Friday post. You can ask us anything, or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. You get top priority and your questions are answered first. We leave the link in the description. So if you're watching on YouTube, it's below you. And if you're listening to the show, it's in the show's description. And in the Insiders Club, we text you everything from lineups to roster updates, trades, and signings. You can text us questions that are on Fan Mail Friday related. And I sometimes update you on what's happening during the games. And we have chats. It's fun. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up next, we have more Fan Mail Friday questions to answer.
Hey, Locked On Yankees fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Well, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a day from buying the gas that you already needed. At first, I thought this was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now. Use my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time for 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Disclaimer, offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for full terms and conditions. We have an important request, Locked On Yankees fans. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in our show notes. Thanks for helping us out. So, Stacey, we continue this trek along for Fan Mail Friday, and we start off with Ruben, who asks, do you think Volpe, Wells, and Dominguez should play winter ball?
I'm assuming, I would think Dominguez would. to work
don't
on.
think so.
You don't think so?
No, these guys, once they hit the major league level, they never play winter ball at this point.
Really?
It's not advised. I do think there are some contractual insurance issues that do come into play if they get hurt in winter ball, because it's not a major league baseball venture. I would not think this would be a thing that they would let one of their major league players do. They would certainly have them go down to Tampa and work out and work on things. Playing in an actual winter ball league, I do not think it's something that the league would advise, or that the Yankees would advise, to be honest.
Really? Why do I feel like someone did?
Of 40-man roster capability?
Yeah.
I don't remember that happening.
Glaber never did that?
No, not in recent years. Not since he was up.
Really? What am I thinking
I do know there's been years past. Like, I do think Glaber a couple of years ago went down to Tampa early. Like he was spotted down in Tampa in like January.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen plenty. Likely they'll do that with Dominguez. I think there's a high possibility that happens. Whether or not they play in a winter ball league, I doubt would be a thing that they would do.
I could have sworn someone did recently. Not too recently, but recently enough. All right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Who knows?
Regardless of if it happened or not, it's not a common thing teams practice. So I can't anticipate the Yankees doing it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. But, Dominguez knows what he needs to do. They're still practicing with him.
And when you evaluate his rookie year, are you going to look back on it and say he was awful? Like, I think Dominguez has been a fine rookie. He's been productive at the plate. He's been much better from the left and the right side, but he hasn't been a butcher out there by any means. The metrics that he has, but I don't think you look back on his rookie year and think, oh God, he was awful. Look to move on from him.
Right. We're not watching Melky out there, because remember how awful Melky was when he first came up, and then he fixed things. And
look at that. Weird. Maybe Dominguez can do the same.
Yeah, I think Dominguez might be able to do the same. Okay, our next question is from Chris F. I know we're making the playoffs, and I like that, but I know that means Boone might be safe. Looks like we're going to handle business against bad teams with the easy remaining schedule. My question to both of you is, how far do you think with this good but very flawed team we're going to go? Keep the fire going.
I answered this question earlier. I was on ESPN Las Vegas, and they asked me the same type of question of, how far do you think they can go, because they're going to get into the postseason, but they're not playing the good teams well. And truth be told, and I'm not just saying this as a Yankee fan, they could win the World Series.
Right. They could lose in the wild card round. Like, you can't predict what this team's going to do.
And that is the benefit of the schedule situation they find themselves in. More often than not, in all four professional sports, the playoffs are more about who gets hot at the right time than the more talented team winning. You see it all the time in sports. So, Stacey, they are getting hot September 20th, away from a potential pennant.
Right.
Or they could lose in the first round. I don't know. All I know is their pitching is good enough. They do have three good enough pitchers to carry them. And they do have enough offensive firepower. And if Stanton stays healthy with his postseason track record, with Grisham playing the way that he's playing, their bullpen is good enough. It is possible. Right. It is possible. I'm not saying that they're guaranteed, but they could make a run. I'm not going to turn that away either. Matt V says, what do you think the playoff bullpen will look like? I think you can five dominant things. Schlittler, Cruz, Weaver, and Bednar. That give them potential for a deep run. Schlittler will not be in the bullpen. I'll give you that.
Right. I don't think so either.
I wonder if they put Heel in there as a long relief. Just because Yarborough hasn't found his way back.
Right. Yeah, he's still working his way back.
And I don't know if they're going to be able. He's really struggled in AAA. Cruz makes it for sure. Weaver's there for sure. Bednar, Duvall's definitely in that playoff roster. They're gonna put Williams there. I don't care what everyone's. They're gonna put Williams there. That's probably the lineup they go with.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. Okay, so that's it for our insider questions. Thank you, insiders. And here's our first YouTube question from Lupus Notice. Hello again, Stacey and Brian. Watching Volpe struggle the way he has speaks to a greater brand of baseball the Yankees have been trying to play for a while. We can all agree offense in baseball as a whole trended towards exit velocity and launch angle for a while. I am watching a team like Toronto prioritize contact, taking the extra base, and not striking out. Do you think, or do you two think baseball as a whole is trending back towards small ball? Thank you for your time, and let's go Yankees.
Yeah, because it's all cyclical, right? All of sports is cyclical. We go back and forth in eras. There was the dead ball era. I do think we're going towards a small ball type of thing going forward with maybe more bunting. But no, I think overall predominantly it's going to be about launch angle and home runs. That's where we are going forward. The analytics is too overbearing when it comes to baseball, and the nerds of the sport and the higher ups in the sport trust it too much. But it's all about winning games, and the Blue Jays have found a little bit of a formula this year based on how they've built their roster. It also depends on where you play, how your roster is built. There's a million things that go into this, Stacey. Right. I don't know if we're going back towards a small ball type of era or more teams playing that way, but it's winning for the Blue Jays. And I think you'll see teams try to implement that and look for different ways to win ball games. So I guess I'll give you like a half and half kind of answer. Yes, but also no. That's helpful. Jason Tarrats says, do you think Cal Raleigh is just having this magical year, or is he truly a slugger? His previous high is 34 homers. It annoys me he might break Judge's home run record, and I don't understand how they still give him good pitches to hit. Meanwhile, Judge will see maybe one good pitch in at bat if they aren't intentionally walking it. Judge has 29 intentional walks to Raleigh's 12. Just annoying.
It is. I agree, Jason. I mean, we'll see, because this happens sometimes. Like, you see this where a guy who normally hits like 30 home runs will occasionally have a 50, 55 home run year. And you're thinking, wow, where'd that come from? And then they fall back to only 35 home runs, which is, that's still a slugger. 35 home runs a year is pretty good.
You know what's funny? After Judge's rookie year, where I think it was 52, we all sat there.
Should have been 53, but it was 52, yes.
True. We all sat there and said, well, he'll probably be like a 30, 35 home run guy. He just popped off. And then since then, it's every year he's on a 55 home run pace.
Unless he's missed 2 months with a broken toe, and then he only
but even his pace is 55 in those years.
Right.
So it is interesting you say that. I do hope Cal Raleigh doesn't break the home run record, but I would say this. I'd rather have a player like Judge over Cal Raleigh any day of the week. Judge's OPS is a good 400 points above Raleigh at this point. He's a better overall all-around player than Raleigh is.
Yeah.
Just is.
Yeah. And our last question of this segment from Dad's Garage 855. Stacey, who is your favorite, or who is your Yankees all nicknamed team? Mine is Babe, Yogi, Moose, Goose, Rocket, Mr. October, Mr. Coffee, Mick the Quick, Chicken Stanlev, Dick Dirt, and Scooter announcing.
You just named every Yankee nickname, so good work. Have fun coming up with Stacey.
I'm assuming that's Mike Musina, not Muscarin.
Yeah.
Let's see. Those are all good ones. Giambino, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to take a John Sterling one from here and say Chase Headley, you can bank on that.
Yeah. No, those are all pretty good. Those are all, because I'm trying to think of other guys' nicknames.
You named all of them. Daddy's Garage named all of them.
Like Mattingly was the Hitman. I always love that poster of him dressed up like a gangster.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I'm trying to think of other like nicknames. Because when you hear, like, people don't really have good nicknames anymore. And I'm sorry, but Big Dumper is not a good nickname. It's not a good nickname. And it's not me saying this as a Yankee fan. It's me just saying this as an obnoxious person. It's not. It's not.
And I think we get too corny with them nowadays too. Like the Judge stuff with the chambers and the robes, it got too much.
But they call him Judgy, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
You can't add an EY to everything.
Well,
either. Right. But like you hear some of the guys do it too. And it's like,
yeah. You
realize how silly that sounds when you call him Judgy? Because that's
Judgy.
It's an adjective.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. All right. Well, coming up, we have more Fan Mail Friday questions from our YouTube viewers, and we will preview the pitching matchups for the rest of the series between the Yankees and the White Sox next.
Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth. And whether it's your 401ks, properties, or investments, when you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving money on the table. And that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. It can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of all your money without ever having to touch a spreadsheet. And there are plenty of things that can surprise you with Monarch. You can identify all your savings as much as you think. And when I used it, it was perfect for me. It helped me get my inefficient investment allocation and discover forgotten 401ks that I had from a previous job, which made things so much easier and honestly relieved a lot of the financial stress that I just don't need on a day-to-day. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code one word locked on MLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code locked on MLB. And not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. Check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman, and it appears right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. It also streams on our YouTube channel. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. Stacey, two more as we close out here for the week. First, we go to New York Greek firefighter. He says after 1983, the Yankees converted Dave Righetti from starter to closer, and it was successful. Do you see a scenario because of his fastball? The same can be done for Cam Schlittler. Thank you, Dino.
I don't think they want to do that because their bullpen is fine. They don't really need him in the bullpen, right?
They've had no problem finding closers over the year and developing pitchers. Also, the Yankees, when it comes to the bullpen, they are really shrewd at finding bullpen pieces around the league. But one place where they usually are never afraid to invest in is closer. Remember, they made Aroldis Chapman the highest paid closer in all of baseball. I'm sure they were planning on doing that with Devin Williams, and they'll have no problem doing that with Bednar if he turned out to be great. So I don't think that'll be a problem. Plus, starters are so much harder to come by than relievers. You want to make, if Cam Schlittler can become a elite level starting pitcher, as people seem to think he can become, you want to let him become that. So I do not think you would wind up doing that now.
Our next question is from AE1889. Hello, Stacey and Brian. If you guys had to list your Yankees bullpen circle of trust, who makes the cut? For me, it is Tim Hill against lefties, Luke Weaver, and Bednar, full stop. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh based on how I am done with the 2025 Yankees. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Andres, don't give up yet.
Yeah. It's definitely Hill for lefties. It's Bednar, Weaver, Duvall. Those are my three most trusted arms right now. And I think for them, and I want to see a little more, but I do think for them, Fernando Cruz.
Yep.
But I'd like to see him prove that he's back first.
Right. I would agree with that. And
our final question for Fan Mail Friday from Q Photo. Since both of you are huge baseball fans, what's one thing that could happen, be it a rule change, hiring or firing, etc., that would make you say, that's it, no more, I'm done with baseball?
Ooh, I know I've threatened to burn off my tattoo if certain things happened. My Yankee tattoo. I would never do that. I don't know. I don't think a rule change, a hiring or a firing would do that. I really don't. Like something really bad would have to happen for me to be done with baseball.
Yeah, I would, I've long said this and I stand by it. I don't really get too into politics ever until the politician comes along that says that they are getting rid of sports and concerts. That's when I'll get super involved. So I don't think there's anything I could do to ever turn it off. I honestly mean that. Sports is my entire life. It revolves around everything I do, live, eat, and breathe it. So no, I don't think anything could happen for me to turn it off. Some news from around the league before we move on to the Yankees and the rest of their White Sox series. If you guys saw this news earlier today, Mark Teixeira is running for Congress in Texas. That is a wild story that's out there. I know he's been in real estate since he retired, but that is a crazy, crazy thing that you can, I guess, follow if you're interested in. Also, Kyle Schwarber, Stacey, hit 4 home runs in his game on Thursday night. Kyle Schwarber does not stop. It's insane how good he has been, really, with the Phillies.
Fun fact, I think him, along with, was it Mickey Mantle and Mike Cameron, they were like the only guys who actually came up with a fifth chance to hit a home run, which he did, but he popped it up in that.
Popped up to where? Do you know where? Was it like to the warning track?
No, it was like popped up just past like the infield. Like it was in that dead man zone between shortstop and third, kind of, but like more shortstop.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that would be really, really cool. But he is an unbelievable player. Another guy the Yankees could have been after, but decided not to.
One quick thing I saw on Reddit, and I don't think this is right. The Marlins broadcast of the Mets-Marlins game on Thursday night was focusing on a child picking his nose. And then the child ate said booger, and the booth went nuts. And the one guy in the booth was laughing for like 2 innings. And I don't think that's right that they did that. I don't think it's right that the video is now posted on Reddit, because you can clearly see this kid's face. It wasn't like he was a 5 or 6 year old. This kid is like in middle school. His life's going to be ruined now because of the internet. I just don't do that. I don't understand. Like I have an issue with the cameras in the stadiums focusing on people doing silly things, and don't do that don't show that stuff on TV. Whoever was in the truck, the producer who was like, yeah, let's keep the camera on this kid. Don't do that.
I'll give him this. It's the most exciting thing that happened to the Marlins in the last like decade.
Hey, they beat the Mets on Thursday night. Oh, by the way, isn't it funny? The Mets sweep the Phillies. Right?
Oh, try to figure it out.
Right? And then they lose to the Marlins.
Makes no sense.
I love baseball.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah. So
Yankees
quickly, let's go through this.
Yeah. Friday night at 7:40. Once again, Yankees will face off the White Sox. Obviously, Carlos Rodon, 14-7, 3.24 ERA. He'll go up against Yendris Gomez. It'll be a bullpen game for the Chicago White Sox. Saturday, it'll be Cam Schlittler, Yankees young flame throwing right-hander out there. 7-10 start. He'll be up against what's his name? Shane Smith. It will be out there against the Yankees. And Luis Gil will be a Sunday starter. It's a 2-10 start. Thankfully, we get that nice and early start, so me and Stacey can get our show going a little earlier. Martin Perez will oppose him for what looks like to be another bullpen game for the White Sox. So got to take advantage here. We've said this before, even though last series had to be a sweep, this has to be at bare minimum 3 or 4.
Yep.
Need to do it. It's another big moment for Locked On college football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation, alongside 2-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. So that'll do it for this week. I am Brian McKeon of Locked On Yankees, alongside Stacey Gotsulias. We'll catch you on Monday.